Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today marks the day we begin our laundry to walk-in shower transformation. So right here we have our gutted laundry. Gutted it down to the studs, took the insulation out. We're gonna have one of those wall-hung toilets here on this wall here, and although this would be a perfect location for it, like on a nice 2x6 wall, we have the water heater right behind this wall here. So we're not going to make a flush with this wall. We're going to build out a box and install the toilet hanger inside that. So it's gonna be a little bump out. So it'll create us a ledge to put all your toilet stuff, sprays and whatnot. And here, we already have a vent from a laundry, so this is a good location because I'm going to lift up the subfloor here, relocate the dryer vent to over there. That's our new dryer location, and work on plumbing. So all of this is getting inspected by the city. Pull permits for this. It's not a scary job, but involves some plumbing, and the plumbing needs to be done right. Our drain is going to be centered right here, and again, the drain is already right there. We're gonna move all this plumbing to here for a washer, and then once I pull the toilet, we should have another vent in this wall here right behind the toilet. So we already have our venting, and we're just gonna tap into the drain. So cut off the toilet flange here and extend that drain, a 3-inch drain up to here. All cleaned up, so I'm gonna pull off this wainscot panel right here, and I'm gonna take off this valve. We're gonna kill it anyways. I'm gonna take off this sheetrock and cut it off and plug it. But before we do that, we need to drain all the water. So let's go in the garage and shut off the water. Now, we're gonna delete these too, so drain the water out of these lines as well. Remove the valve so we can just pull the ring out and not have to cut anything out. And to remove the valve, it's actually very easy. All I need is a channel lock and a vice grip. It can be both channel locks, whatever you have. You adjust it and then just twist it, and that's it. The valve and you just take it out with your hand. So this part is out, and this part sometimes I have to wiggle to get the ring out, the compression ring. They have special tools for removing this. We're just gonna wiggle this in and out. Compression ring. That's what holds the water from leaking out. And then pull the ring out, and we don't have to cut squares. This is what it looks like with the drywall pulled off, and I absolutely love when the builder or the last plumber that was plumbing this house leaves nail plates. Less money for me to spend. Awesome. Now the subfloor is typically nailed in, but I see a combination of two. There's some nails, some screws. So I got a number 2 Phillips to unscrew. That's a nail. going to do is going to frame out the toilet location here. So to do that, let's go ahead and measure the frame. That's 19 3/4, okay. 19 3/4 plus we need 1.5 inches on each side, so 3 inches. That's gonna be 2 by 4. And cut that out. And cut a hole in the middle, and then we can route our 3-inch pipe. So it's going out of that angle. All we gotta do is cut that off and run it at this angle here. And we're gonna do that with a 3-inch wire. There's our hole.
Wow, what a hole.
Let's climb into the dark, scary crawl space and begin rearranging the plumbing. Next up, we're going to glue in our 3x3x3Y, and that is our tap end for the new toilet line over here into the main sewer. On the other end of it, we're going to glue in another 3x3x2Y to pick up our shower drain and keep running a 3-inch pipe over there for our washing machine, followed by a clean out. Plumbing is not something that gets done often unless you do this for a living, so always got to make sure that you have fresh ABS cement. Once it becomes jelly, you don't want to work with that anymore. So I buy like smaller batches, smaller cans, that I can just do what I need to do and dispose of it. If you keep it for a couple months, it goes bad. Okay, so that's good right around there. I'm gonna do one more connection here and glue our 3-inch to the Y. Another thing we need to do here on our 3-inch main line is to install a testing, because we are going to inspect and test this entire system. So what we'll do is install this inline, and it'll give us access to a clean out. And what we're gonna do is put like an inflatable ball in here and inflate it so it shuts the pathway to the rest of the plumbing, and we have to fill all of this system with water in order to see for any leaks. Therefore, I'm going to make another cut and install this for the inspection. Alright, so next up we need to vent this pipe right here. So the toilet cannot function without a vent. So here's our vent stack right here. But before we tie this up together, we're going to install a sink on the other side of this wall. That's in the garage. So there, I made my pilot hole, and I'm gonna go see where this is at. This is our pilot hole, and to make it code compliant, we need to be about 18 inches off the floor. So roughing in as a bathroom lavatory here, because a kitchen sink would be 15 inches. So that's our center, and we can just borrow this. right there, it's drained, and our feed lines are 21 inches off the ground. 21 inches. And 8 inches apart. So we'll make this one 4 inches from the center, 4 inches off the center, right there. That's all rough in. Let's start working on the high pressure lines. So we're gonna do packs here, and we're just gonna stick this in there and screw that with some screws. And not to confuse, because this is inverted now, this is our hot water and this is our cold water. We're gonna be standing in a garage. This is left, this is right. So I'm gonna be opposite. So hot water goes there, cold water goes there. Let's go ahead and finish installing the valves on this side in the garage. So as you can tell, I had to re-drill the holes. That's in order to fit the fitting there and not being in the bottom sill plate. I need to raise it up, and they're still within code. So this is 18 inches. Code allows anywhere from 16 to 20 inches. We're right at 20 inches, so that's still acceptable. Plus, I'm not sure if really they're going to be so picky about it in the garage, but we're going to reuse these valves. They don't leak, therefore they're still fine. The only new thing we're going to use is the compression rings, and these are like a 3-pack, $3.80, so like $1.20 a piece, or $1.25. So let's go ahead and install the cover plate. Earlier I called them rings, but I was referring to the actual compression ring and did not even bother to correct myself. But that's how you do it. You install it. I already trimmed this one out because it was really complicated to install this from the other side. And then we're going to unscrew the thread from here. That's a little jacked up there. Okay. So this is where it bottoms out. And if you see like in your homes, it's always like sticking out. We're gonna trim that more. So we're going to mark it because we don't need it sticking out past that. So you need that, and then you take it off. And get your copper pipe cutter. I really like this one. Fits in very tight places. Go ahead and lock it in. All right, we need a deburring tool. Take off all those burrs. Really sharp, and that's not to have like turbulence inside the pipe when the water's running. Okay. Put this back on, slip on the sleeve. And start threading it in. Okay, so you're gonna need your channel locks. So I have two of them. One is to hold, and the other one is to rotate and turn. Okay, so, and when you're doing it, just put some, not a whole lot of pressure, but to just keep it in so it doesn't slide out on you. Okay, that's only pretty tight. And you don't want to twist it to the point where you break the thread. Okay, one installed. Make sure you close the valve so once you turn the water on, it's not gonna flood the entire garage. So, okay, that's closed. Repeat the process on this side. There it is, and these holes, I'll just patch them from the other side, put some kind of backing and fill it with hot mud so it can dry out a little bit. So this is going to vent our shower, that was going to vent the laundry. Another thing we're not going to need here is this clean out and the santee, since this is going to be tiled here. Alright, so that's our new washing machine drain location. Drain and water line feed, and we're going to reuse this. There's nothing wrong with that, plus we already have a P-trap. The only thing is we need to clear out that old pipe, and we do that with the reamer. So this is a 2-inch reamer. Take it out, put on your power drill, and basically it will clear out the old plastic out and save the fitting. All right, so there we have it. A reamed out, saved P-trap. So this is what I had to buy in order to drill through this king and jack stud here. So paid, I think it was like 60 something dollars just to drill 3 studs here. So that people always ask, why is labor so expensive? Blame the tools. The low pressure plumbing system is done. All we have to do is install nail plates and tie up the pipe so it's not wiggling around. But before I do that, I'm going to install the high pressure lines. I'm gonna run my water hot and cold into the valve. I have the handheld shower wand point out there. and a shower head, and then basically just rub everything up and spray foam in the cavities there. This is flux, so what we do is we apply flux to the outer diameter of the copper, and what this does, it distributes the solder evenly throughout the pipe. Next, we're going to slip on our copper to PEX conversion fittings. And begin soldering this together. So we need to heat up this fitting enough so when you touch the solder, it melts into there. With the fittings on, we want them naturally to cool down before we wipe it down. Then we'll wipe it down and slip on the PEX pipe. We do not want to slip on PEX when it's hot because it'll melt it. This is the mixing valve I'm going to install. Nothing fancy, nothing special, just Amazon basics. Budget friendly. We're spending all the money upstairs. This is downstairs auxiliary shower room, so we don't need to spend a whole lot of money here. This is rough end. Let's talk about the rough end. This is a 2x6 wall. We roughed this in on a 2x4 wall, marked 1.5 inches from the edge of the 2x6, and that'll give us our 2x4 rough end, and that's always enough to accommodate for a 1/2 inch backer board, thin set plus tile. That sums up the valve install. Last thing we gotta do is route water to the washing machine. 1 inch line, and there's 3/4 inch line. I'm going to cut this 1 inch line as straight as I can to line it up with the cold water. This is our cold water. I'm gonna measure it from this wall here and then make a cut so we just have a straight run. Here I have spliced the 1 inch and 3 1/4 inch line with a 1/2 inch T, followed by a male sweat-on barb fitting to the copper. So this is our reducer, this is our conversion from copper to PEX. And to finish the plumbing, all the plumbing work, all we have to do is drill holes in the sill plate and run the PEX to our washing machine connection there. I'm going to frame in the toilet frame so I can tap in into this water line here for the flushing mechanism, and maybe perhaps even turn the water on today. Floor to the top of the seat should be anywhere 16 to 17 inches off the finished floor. To do that, you just take a measurement to the center, roughly 7 inches to the center of the drain, plus ½ inch for the toilet seat. And you want to measure to the seat, not the actual cover. So the seat has ½ inch. Yeah, the seat has ½ inch, so we add ½ inch to the 7.5 feet. That's our center. Next, you want to make sure your frame is level, and I find it the easiest to use a 13mm socket to tighten these bolts. Okay, are you ready? I'm a little nervous. Okay. So here we have our plumbing. It's all done and roughed in, ready for inspection, almost. One thing we have to do before getting inspected, I'll show you what it is. But let's go over, see what's been done. So we installed a 2-inch stack here, and we're venting our toilet with the 2-inch, reduced to 1.5 inches for our sink in the bathroom as well as the sink in the garage. And it flows down into the drain over there. Toilet, this is a completely new run, vented right there, just behind the toilet. Pretty neat here. And same thing for the shower. This used to be the old washing machine drain, and now we have reconfigured this for the new P-trap for the shower. Also installed a clean out there, and it's vented through this old P-trap location that was for the washing machine. Now going here into the laundry room, we have installed our washing machine drain and feed lines, vented with our old toilet vent right there. Used to vent the toilet, now it's venting our washing machine. Also clean out there in case there's a clog, and clean out on the main at the end of the run. All right, and taps into the main 2 to 3 inch wide. Okay, to call in an inspection and get these pipes tested, make sure there's no leaks, we have to stop the water flow and fill the pipes with water And we do this with this test ball. So we insert it into a clean out and inflate it to 35 psi. So this expands and stops all the water flow. So we have to fill water all the way to the vent. So the vents are full. So it'll take a while for it to fill. So I'm going to crawl back into the crawl space here to insert this and inflate it. So I'm going to remove this cap and screw in the test tee, or the test ball, into a test tee. And then we're going to inflate it. It's 35 psi. And these Costco battery tenders are pretty handy. Alright, that's it. So we have stopped the water flow and could now fill all these pipes with water. To fill the pipe with water, we're going to take one of these fittings out, and we need to make sure, you have to make sure that the rest of them are sealed, otherwise they're going to leak. So then we're going to put on this grommet here, slip this on so it's all the way in, and don't forget to tighten it, otherwise you also create a leak. Attach the hose, and this is just a regular standard garden hose. Make sure the water's closed, and take the test plug out and thread this on. This is a conversion from MIP to FIP. So your NPT, natural pipe thread, goes in here, and the garden hose threads in here. And last step, we have to check all the test plugs are nice and tight. So this one is sealed. This one is sealed. Let's go check in the garage. And the garage one is sealed. So now, make sure that's open. Already checked that's open. We open the water. And fill them up. As you can hear, everything starts filling up. This will take a while, so I'll just cut the video here. And what the inspector is going to want to see is going to tap on the pipe, and once it's full, there's going to be a difference in the sound. It's going to be full, and it won't resonate like that. All right, that about does it. So when I tap on it now, these pipes are full with water. Let me know if you can hear the difference compared to what it was before. Full pipe. Full pipe. Full pipe. Okay. So we are now ready to call in for the inspection. So make sure you have all your permit sets. So the plumbing permit here, and this is kind of like the scope. So this is what it was. We're in this room right now. This is the divider. There's no problem here right now, but this was a laundry. This was a powder, and we are making it vice versa. We're installing, making a 3/4 bath here and moving the laundry here. So let's talk about the importance of filling these pipes with water. As you can see, this is existing fitting here. This was here before. It's already it was painted before, and it was not tight enough. This was leaking from the threads here. There's water residue there, so I tightened it, stopped leaking. This is why we do this, to check. Now, this clean out thread was also loose. It was in, hand tight, but it was still seeping water through, a couple of drips here. And again, this is very important to test it for yourself. Even if you're not getting inspected by the city, do it for your own sake. Now, this is a crawl space, so if it drips, it's really not a huge deal. Still a big deal, but not as vital as if it would leak between the floors, between first and second floor. Now you deal with mold issues and water damage and everything else. All right, so let's go ahead and call city and schedule for inspection probably tomorrow. Nobody does same day inspections. You have to be really lucky. So the city has come out and we passed the inspection. So let's crawl in the crawl space here and drain all that water. So all of these pipes are still filled with water, and when I tap it, you can hear this is hollow here. Anyway, so the inspection is passed, and we can go ahead and deflate this, and all that water is gonna rush out.